Hello, family and friends. Welcome back to my channel. This is Cynthia from Cynthia's Crafts and More. If you're new here, welcome. It's an honor to have you. Today I'm doing a reading from the Bible.com YouVersion, the Bible app. And I'm reading the book of Leviticus. Intro about the book of Leviticus. The Lord is showing Israel's people that He is holy. He is showing them how they must live to stay near to Him. The Lord chose Moses to lead Israel's people out of Egypt. Israel's people were slaves in Egypt for 400 years. Aaron and his brother of Moses. Aaron was the brother of Moses. He was the first priest that God gave to Israel's people. Leviticus chapter 1. The rules for the people's gifts. The Lord spoke to Moses from the tent of meeting. He told him the rules that Israel's people must obey. The Lord said, "Speak to Israel's people. Tell them this: when a person gives an animal to the Lord, it must be a cow or a sheep or a goat. A person may want to give a gift to the Lord. That gift must be a male animal from his group of animals. It must be perfect. He must burn the whole animal as a gift to the Lord. The person must bring it to the door of the tent of meeting. If he does, the Lord will accept this gift. The person must put his hand on the animal's head, then he must kill it. The animal's death will pay for the The animal's death will pay for the person's sins. The person must kill the young bull in front of the Lord. The priests, who are the sons of Aaron, will take the blood. They will throw it onto the sides of the altar. That is the altar near the door of the tent of meeting. The person must take the skin from the dead animal, and then he must cut up the meat. The sons of Aaron, the priests, will light a fire on the altar. Then they will put wood on it. The priests will put the pieces of meat on the fire. They will put the head and the fat on the fire with the meat. The person must wash the legs and the inside parts with water. Then the priest will burn the whole animal on the altar. The smell of it while it is burning will give the Lord pleasure. A person may want to give a sheep or a goat as a gift to God. It must be a male animal. It must be perfect. The person must kill it at the north side of the altar. The priest will throw the blood onto the sides of the altar in front of the Lord. The person must cut up the animal. The priest will take the pieces of meat, the head, and the fat. They will put them on the fire that is burning on the altar. The person must wash the legs and the inside parts with water. The priest will burn the whole animal on the altar while it is a burnt offering. The smell of it while it is burning will give the Lord pleasure. Moses tells Israel's people what to do with gifts that are birds. If a person wants to give a bird to the Lord, it must be a dove or a pigeon. The priest will bring the bird to the altar. He will tear off the head and he will burn it on the altar. The priest will pour the blood onto the side of the altar. Then the priest will remove the part of the bird where the food is stored. He will throw it on the east side of the altar with the ashes. He will hold the parts that the bird uses to fly. And then he will tear open the body, but he must not tear it completely. He will burn all of it on the fire, that is, on the altar. The smell of it while burning will give the Lord pleasure. And this concludes Leviticus chapter 1. Leviticus chapter 2. Moses tells Israel's people what to do with gifts that are grain. A person may want to give grain as a gift to the Lord. He must make it into flour. He must put oil and incense on the flour. He must take it to Aaron's sons, the priests. The priest will take some of the flour and oil and all the incense in his hand. He will burn them on the altar as a gift to the Lord. The smell of them while they are burning will give the Lord pleasure. The flour that he did not burn is for the priest. It is very holy. That is because it is part of an offering to the Lord. A person must not use yeast if he bakes his gifts of grain. He must make cakes or biscuits with flour and oil. He must use yeast if he cooks his cake on a flat plate. He must make it with flour and oil. He must break the cake into pieces. He must pour oil on it. It is a gift to God. A person must use flour and oil to cook the cake in a pot. He must give the cake to the priest. The priest will take it to the altar. He will take a piece of it and he will burn it in the fire. It is a gift to the Lord. The smell of it, while it is burning, will give the Lord pleasure. The part of the cake that did not burn is for the priest. That is because it is most holy, part of a burnt offering to the Lord. A person must not use yeast when he gives a gift of grain to the Lord. He must only give yeast or honey. He must not give yeast or honey for the priest to burn as a gift to the Lord. He can give them as the first part of his harvest. He must not burn them on the fire. He cannot use them to give to the Lord. A person must put salt in all his gifts of grain. Salt is a mark of God's promise to Israel's people. A person may want to give the first part of his harvest to the Lord. He must break the grains into pieces, and he must cook them in a fire. They are a gift, so he must put oil and incense on them. The priest will burn a part of the Lord of the grain with all the incense. It is a burnt offering to the Lord. And this concludes Leviticus chapter 2. Leviticus chapter 3. Moses tells Israel's people what to do with their gifts for the Lord. A person might want to give a friendship offering to the Lord. He must take a perfect animal from his group of animals. The animal can be male or female. The person must put his hand on the animal's head. Then he must kill it at the door of the tent of meeting. Aaron's sons, the priests, will throw the blood onto the sides of the altar. The person must burn some pieces of the animal as a gift to the Lord. It is a free friendship offering. He must bring all the fat from the inside of the animal, and he must bring the kidneys with their fat and the best piece of the liver. The priests, Aaron's sons, will take the pieces. They must put them on the top of the gift on the altar. The smell of them while they are burning will give the Lord pleasure. If a person wants to give a sheep to the Lord, as a friendship offering. It must be perfect. The person can give a male animal or a female animal to the Lord. If it is a young sheep, he must offer it to the Lord. He must put his hand on its head. Then he must kill it at the front of the tent of meeting. Aaron's sons will throw the blood onto the sides of the altar. The person must cut the tail off the animal. He must give the tail and all the fat from inside the body to the Lord. He must also give the kidneys and the best piece of the liver. The priest will burn them as food on the altar. They are a burnt offering to the Lord. A person may offer a goat to the Lord. The person must put his hand on the goat's head. Then he must kill it at the front of the tent of meeting. Then Aaron's sons will throw the blood on the sides of the altar. The person must take all the fat around the inside parts. He must give it to the Lord for a burnt offering. He must also give the kidneys with the fat on them and the best piece of the liver. The priest will burn them as food on the altar. The smell of them while they are burning will give the Lord pleasure. Israel's people must not eat any fat or drink any blood. This rule is for them and for their children everywhere. They must obey this rule always. And this concludes Leviticus chapter 3. I hope you've enjoyed these readings and that you'll come back tomorrow for more of the book of Leviticus. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, and blessed day. And may the Lord keep you safe, healthy, dry, and warm. And don't forget to click that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it if you haven't already. I mean, it's free, so why not? And don't forget to click that solid notification bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. And give me a thumbs up to show that you like this video. And leave a comment below because I love to hear from you. If you could also share this out to your social media sites, I'd greatly appreciate it. And don't forget to share it to your YouTube pages, your community tabs. All this will help with getting the word of the Lord out to those who need to hear or would like to hear the word. Now let's pray for peace and love. Until tomorrow, God bless. Love you guys.